Hello everyone, welcome. This is Reset Mom Bod. My name is Erin. I'm the owner of Balance and Rejuvenate Nutrition Services, and I dedicate my counseling services to other moms out there. I am literally the Reset Mom Bod guru, so you just contact me if you have any questions in regards to working with me. I also specialize in hormone testing as well. So, today's topic, which will not take very long because I know we're busy, is dedicated to protein bars. I have 12 tips that I think are important to know, so the next time you go to the store, you'll know exactly what to either avoid or possibly look for. As a mom, I understand protein bars are essential to our daily routine. However, let's try not to rely them on every day for every meal because they're just very processed in a lot of ways. There are some very good bars out there that are just nuts and fruits and some seeds, which are great. But why not just make it at home? I do have energy balls that are on my website that are to die for. And those are a lot cheaper than buying those at the store. So, let's go on with my 12 tips. Number 1, can I pronounce the ingredients? So important for everything that you're buying. If there's a list of ingredients that you seriously cannot pronounce and they sound laboratory-ish, then don't put it in your body. Probably not good for you. Number 2, are there artificial sugars such as sucralose and aspartame, and yes, even stevia. Artificial sugar has been known to disrupt our gut microbiome or our gut bacteria. So, a healthy gut means a healthy body. So it's very important that we feed our stomach, our gut, with good bacteria, such as probiotics. Now, stevia, yes, I did say stevia because stevia most likely in those bars and other foods is highly processed. So the way they do it is they take the sweet part of stevia, the stevia plant, and add some heat to it and some chemicals, and there you go, ready to go to be put into a certain food item. If it was stevia that literally just came off the tree, that would be great. That's a very natural source, healthy natural source of a sweetener. And hey, did you know that you actually could just grow it in your backyard? It's pretty simple. Or you could also buy the stevia leaf powder that's already ground up for you. It is pricey, but that could be an option for you. And just know that when you do buy that, it's definitely not as sweet as it would be taking the extract of the sweetness called Red A from stevia. But it is pretty sweet still compared to cane sugar, but just not as sweet. I'm personally not a fan of stevia. I don't like that licorice aftertaste. It just, I don't know, it doesn't really work well with me. So that is for stevia. Other sources of sweeteners that I wanted to mention are dates, honey, agave, which I do not recommend because it's very high in fructose, which is the one sugar you don't want too much of. It's actually worse than regular sugar. I know it used to be like one of the health craves out there, but I would not recommend it. And brown rice syrup, and then monk fruit and tapio syrup. So monk fruit. Monk fruit is actually one of my favorite sweeteners. It is about 150 to 200 times sweeter than regular sugar. It does not spike your blood sugar. And the way they extract the fruit is very simple, and from what I know, it does not sound laboratory-ish at all. So there is a video that I linked on my newsletter that it's about 2 minutes long, and you can learn more about monk fruit and how they literally take the fruit off the tree and put it in products like the protein bars. The other one that I wanted to talk about is tapio syrup. Tapio syrup is also derived from cassava, which is a starchy root vegetable. So this is not 0 calories, 0 grams of sugar. It is very high in starchy carbs, and it's a good replacement for actual corn syrup. So the other tip, number 4, is sugar alcohols, which are words ending in OL. So xylitol, erythritol, mannitol, sorbitol. So OL, those are sugar alcohols. alcohols, which sugar alcohols spike your blood sugar half as much, which is good, I guess, right? What? Okay. Sorry. Duty calls, right? Told you I would have some mom moments in here. All right, so with sugar alcohols, they spike your blood sugar half as much as regular sugar. However, some people can get some discomfort in their stomach, so like bloating and gas and possibly even diarrhea, and even cramping. So some people are very sensitive to sugar alcohols, and a lot of protein bars that try to say low sugar and all that are very high in sugar alcohols. So be mindful and just see how your body reacts. I also want to note that many of these sugar alcohols are derived from genetically modified organisms, also known as GMOs, GMO corn. So again, if that's something that you want to stay away from, then be careful. Sources of protein include, this is tip number 5, the sources of protein. So plant-based would be a pea protein, a brown rice protein, a hemp, chia seeds, and hemp seeds. Those are all sources of plant-based proteins. The whey is obviously not plant-based, and I always say if you're going to go for a whey, try to look for grass-fed to avoid those cows from eating the genetic modified grains or corn. And also using the pesticide from Roundup. Roundup is not good for you. We don't want to be putting that in your body, so we try to stay away from that. My son's running around everywhere. So tip number 6 is lecithin or soy lecithin. So if it says lecithin or soy lecithin, they're both from soy. Which again, well, I guess I didn't mention this earlier. Soy is one of the top products in addition to corn as being GMO. Liam, Reagan, stop please. My daughter is dancing 10 minutes. Okay, so if again, if you don't like GMOs in your body, then look out for lecithin and soy lecithin. Unless the label says GMO free, then you're probably in a safe zone for that. And lecithins are pretty much in bars as like an emulsifier, so combines the fats and the oils and the water to kind of make it all stick together. Sunflower lecithin is a great alternative as far as lecithin, and this is a non-GMO. And the purpose of, again, well, I guess the benefits for sunflower lecithin is that it can lower cholesterol. It's also been shown to improve brain function and our digestive system. So there's been a lot of benefits with sunflower lecithin. So that's a good ingredient to look for in your bars, and I always try to go for that over the soy lecithin. Tip number 8 is non-GMO or GMO-free labels, which I've mentioned several times so far. So obviously you can tell I do not like GMOs, but I want you to do your own research. There's pros and cons to everything. So I just personally don't like GMOs. So it's an important thing to look for. A lot of the protein bars will say GMO or non-GMO. Tip number 5. So as far as like the macros for carbs, I say for bars no more than 30 grams per bar. If it's above that, that's a little high. I mean, if you're some crazy marathon runner and doing 4 hours of exercise a day, then by all means, yeah, go more than that. But for a typical person, 30 grams is a great cutoff point for carbohydrates. A lot of the plant-based protein bars typically have 12 to 15 grams of protein, which is a little low if you're going to treat that more as a meal. So I would just add a couple more like ounces of protein. So you could do like string cheese or hard-boiled egg, just up the protein a little more and keep you satisfied a little bit longer. But if it's just for a quick little snack, then that's probably a good amount, about 15 grams of protein. That should be for an average person. We're all different depending on our activity schedule and all that, but that should be a good amount. And number 11 is fiber. So a lot of these bars are super high in fiber, which we're like, oh great, because we need more fiber, right? but it's not the same fiber that you find in fruits and veggies and whole grains. It's more of a processed form of fiber. So just be cautious, because if it has more than 10 grams of fiber, then it might be a little bit of an overload on your system, and again, you might have some GI distress or digestive symptoms like cramping and stomach aches and bloating. Kind of the same thing that you get from sugar alcohols that I explained earlier. It's very similar to overload of fiber in your body. And just remember, the more fiber you intake, the more water you need. It's very important to make sure you up your water intake. So a couple of names that are known as fiber in your bars that you may not know of is inulin, I-N-U-L-I-N, which is also known as chicory root. So that's another source of fiber. Soluble corn fiber, which corn is one of those top GMO products, so definitely look for GMO-free on the label if that's something you want to steer away from. And the other one, which I may say wrong, is isomalto oligosaccharides, which in a short term, the short version is IMO. So, and again, just read my newsletter because I just wrote it out. So you can see there are some names that are a little confusing to say, at least for me, but aren't necessarily bad for you. You just have to be super mindful and do your research, because you just never know. And then number 12, which I said from the way beginning, is please don't let protein bars be your main source of food. Please eat real food, and that is why meal prepping is so important, which there are some weeks that I fall back on that, and that's the only way I get by, and there's some weeks that I completely forget to meal prep, or I just don't have time, and I'm relying on a bar as a meal.
Is this you and you?
Yeah. So, I know it's crazy as moms, especially with young kids, but just, try your best and look for at least bars out there with some of the things that I've mentioned. Duty calls.